everybody. Welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this is our top 5 games from 2018. Hopefully you came over here from the Dice Tower afterwards. If you did, why don't you consider giving us a like and subscribe, because we're good guys.
Not too bad anyways.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby.
I just broke his heart because he knows that I didn't put a game in this list.
He's lying,
No,
folks.
I'm not
He's just lying. That's the long and the short of it. There better be one, because if there isn't one,
okay,
this is not JT.
this is
Just saying.
He doesn't know me very well, apparently.
Or something. My number 5 is a game called, and I think you got rid of this. I think you told me you got rid of it, but it's called Zombicide Green Horde.
I have it. I have it on my sale pile.
Yeah, you were going to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yep.
So this one I enjoy. It's not my favorite Zombicide, but I do enjoy it because it makes a game that really didn't need to be made harder, a little bit harder.
Sure.
Because zombie orcs, go figure,
yeah,
they're a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
They're a little bit tougher than human zombies. So, but the cool thing that I liked about Green Horde was all of the extra stuff that you got. Not just necessarily the green orc zombies, although orc zombies, that's cool. I liked the trebuchet and the catapult and all that kind of stuff that you, as the people, could use.
The hedges and the water on the maps. Really cool. Really cool.
Yes.
I don't know why they made the zombies do more damage, because if you get swarmed by zombies in the first zombie side, you're dead. Now you're just double dead.
You're super dead.
I mean, it's a great game. The only reason I would get rid of it or have it on the sale pile is because we have so many zombies.
So many other zombie sides, yep.
But it's a really cool game,
Yep.
and I really like those mechanics. Those map mechanics are really good.
One of the things, and we haven't really talked about this, but one of the things that doing these year lists, is, for me at least, it helps me compartmentalize. Like, I know that I've talked about Zombicide games over the past few years, but this is the one that came out in 2018.
Yep.
So if it has to stand on its own against the other games in this year, doesn't matter how much I like Marvel Zombies, doesn't matter how much I like Black Plague, Green Horde has to stand on its own going up against the other games in this category in this year. And that's one of the things I like about doing these year-based lists. Yeah. So anyway, that's my number 5, Zombicide Green Horde. Stands on its own 2 green feet.
It does. It does. And I would say that I didn't put it on the list because it's an expansion, but I've put plenty of expansions on the list, so it's very standalone.
It's a standalone. I actually click no expansions when it shows
my
list.
It's not.
It's a standalone.
It's a standalone. Yeah, I was joking.
On its own 2 green feet.
That was a joke. You were supposed to say I've put like 20 expansions in here.
You have. You've also put games that you haven't played
yet.
Just
one, but I've played it now, so I can't even say that, see? You have to go back and redo that video. Green Horde's a great pick. All right, my number 5, which is funny because I didn't remember it came from 2018, and I just played it the other day and remembered how much I love it, is The Reckoners. I love this game so friggin' much. In The Reckoners, you're taking on a character each, or a couple of, however many characters you want, but then you have these board locations, which are different locations around New Chicago, which is the city that you're in. And there's a big bag epic named Steelheart, who is the anti-Superman. That's a bad guy, right? You're trying to take him out. But to take him out, you have to learn what his weakness is. And before you can learn what his weakness is, there's a whole bunch of little epics, little super-powered people, and they all have different abilities that you're trying to take out. So you may have to learn their weaknesses and kill them, and then that'll give you clues towards how you take out Steelheart. But it's a cooperative game. It's a pretty difficult game. Not that it can't be won. I won it the other day, no problem.
No problem.
There was no problem. I had like 18 people left.
I just cheated.
I didn't cheat at all. There's no sense in cheating. There's no sense in cheating, but it's components.
You're not cheating, you're not trying.
No, components for this, Nauvoo Games, everything's in game trays. Your player boards are game trays. Everything on the board is game trays.
Super high marks.
Top-notch components. absolutely gorgeous. Just a really fun game. You're taking out enforcers or you're fighting these little epics, but you're doing it all. You have your own dice with all of your different actions on them, and you're just using these actions to, like Yahtzee style, rolling out dice and then doing the best you can to survive. So
I guess the way to win this game is to play it over and over and over again and just get better at it. I've played this game probably 4 times, and I've lost horribly every single time I've played it.
Yeah, I need to stop playing the normal version and start playing the more challenging ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if we were doing that, but I don't think I've ever won this game. That's one of the reasons why it's not on my list, is because it's so hard to play. I saw it, I didn't even put it on my short list of 41 because
it can be difficult. Stuff can go
hard.
really, really bad.
Yeah, really
stuff
fast.
could go really, really bad. Doesn't mean I don't lose.
But you said you had a real high win percentage.
Yeah. I definitely win 75% of this.
Yeah, I don't. Good pick, though.
Anyways, my number 5, The Reckoners. Fantastic game.
My number 4 is probably on the other end of the spectrum as far as how hard this game is to play, but it is a Viking game, and it's from Yellow, and it's largely goes under the radar for many people, and it's called Raids. Raids is a very cool game that basically the entire board is I guess you could call it a rondel system, because the entire board, you have to go around it. It's a bay area, and you're basically traveling around the bay, and you can you can go as far around it as you want, but you can never go backwards. So I don't know what that mechanism is called. I can't remember what it's called.
That's kind of a rondel.
A progressive rondel or something like that. I don't know. You can go as far as you want around, but you can never go back, and you can take as many actions as you want, and you're just trying to stop at these different places and score points. Some of them you're going to be recruiting Vikings. Some of them you're going to be fighting a mythical beast that's plaguing the villages around that area. You're going to be doing different things. You're just trying to score most points. But it's a really fun, very lightweight, family-level game that I've really enjoyed playing over the last few years. And Yellow did a great job as far as the production quality is concerned. All of the little meeples that you have are all little Viking-shaped meeples. And it's just a really fun game. It looks great on the table, has a great appeal. I've really enjoyed it. That's Raids from Yellow. That's my number 4.
Number 4. Very, very nice. All right. My number 4 is a Garfield Games game from this year.
Garfield from this year.
It's Architects of the West Kingdom. Came out in 2018.
Garfield. I thought you meant Garfield. I thought you meant Garfield.
No. Sorry. Nope. 2018. Architects of the West Kingdom.
Yep.
Time flies. I don't feel like this game's that old. That's kind of a funny thing. Sometimes, I mean, there's been a ton that have come out since then, so I guess that makes sense. But and Architects of the West Kingdom is really cool. You have a board. Basically, you're all trying to help build the cathedral. But in the building the cathedral, you can build your own little buildings, which will help you with scoring or stuff like that. You can hire these apprentices that will give you different abilities. The cool thing about this game is it has a whole bunch of worker placement spots, but you start out with 20 workers. In fact, with one of the expansions...
Is this the one where you can go to prison?
Yep.
Oh, this is my favorite one.
This is a great one.
This is my favorite one.
This is probably the lightest of them and the funnest to play in a big group or with more players. And it will always be one of my favorites just for that reason, because it's kind of the opposite end of the... But you get like 20 guys, and in fact, in one of the expansions, you get another guy who's like a double, like a grande worker. But anyways, if you put one guy out on the wood spot, you get 1 wood or whatever. 2 guys, when you put the second guy out there, you get 2. And then, but now you're collecting a whole bunch of people there, and Sam's like, oh, you have 5 people over there harvesting wood. I think I'm going to scoop them all up and put them in jail. And then he keeps them on his player board, 5 of your 20 workers, until he either sends them to jail or you pay money to get them out of there. And it's a really cool balance. The game is continuous. There's no rounds. You just keep on going until that cathedral's been built. And it's just a really fun game, and it's light enough. And there's a couple of expansions that, might make it a little less light, but you don't have to play with those. But it is just a really cool game.
I think from this
just
point,
keep going.
From this game on, in their line of games, they just kept getting harder and harder and harder.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, why? Why did you keep getting harder and harder and harder? I loved this wait.
Yeah, this one's fantastic.
This game was so fun.
Yep.
And then I think the next one after that was Paladins.
Yep.
And I was like, did not like that one at all. And then it just kept getting harder and harder and harder.
Well, Viscounts wasn't as hard as Paladins.
That's true. Viscounts was the one that had a
took
huge...
a step back and it had that rondelle. It's really nice. That's a really fun game.
That's correct.
Paladins got really hard. In fact, I was talking to somebody not too long ago, and they're like, Paladin's my favorite game out of all the games. And I was like, man, it's so hard. I played Paladins, I don't know, probably 2 months ago, a couple of times actually, and it was... Once I got done playing, or once I got done relearning the rules for myself, I will never teach this game to another human being. There's no sense in teaching this game to somebody else.
It's that difficult.
Yeah, it's just that confusing. Like, I would just rather not. Like, there's some games I would rather not teach Paladins. I'll play it, but I would rather not teach it to anybody.
Yeah. Can we play Paladins? Do you know how to play it?
Do you know how to play it? Let's do
it. All right, my number 3 is...
direct crossover.
No, it's not going to be a direct crossover.
He doesn't have any of my last games on
my number 3, I don't know, we'll see. My number 3 is a theme that I probably wouldn't be drawn to normally, necromancy.
Nice.
But this one is called Rise of the Necromancers, and it is a super fun game. And I would have never thought that I would have liked this game as much. First of all, the board is super drab. It just looks like an old map with black drawing on it. That's all it looks like, with little, hand-drawn... The map does not look inviting at all. Mm-hmm. But the cool part is, how are you going to use you each start off as just like regular acolyte necromancers trying to make your way in the world. What basically the lore is that light has come and beat back the darkness, and now they've gotten lax. And so now you're coming back. You're going to rise again, the rise of the necromancers, and the forces of light are there, and they're trying to resist you, but you're trying to beat them back and raise your own necromancer army again, and it's really, really fun.
Nice.
Such a fun game. And it's not one that I would normally like, because I'm not big on necromancy stuff and all that kind of stuff. But I really enjoy this game. It's really, really fun. Rise of the Necromancers, my number 3.
Nice. All right, my number 3
Y'all.
is a fantastic game. This is such a good year. I got 2018, such a good year for big, heavy, meaty things too. My number 3 is from Vladimir Suki. From Delicious Games, called Underwater Cities. In Underwater Cities, you are building an underwater city with the domes and all that good stuff. You're using algae and plasteel and all these different resources. It is definitely a Euro game, and it's all about your card placement. You have cards, and there's action spots all the way around the board. And some of the action spots, and I can't think of right now, but like the green action spot, the cards might be really good, but the actions that are on the green spots might be, kind of weaker, and they kind of go around. There's green and orange and red. I don't know why I'm not thinking of it. Yeah, but if you play a green card on a green spot, then you get to take both of those actions. But I can, if I need a tunnel or something, I can play a green card on an orange spot and then just take the orange action, which is fine. But if you can figure out how to pair up and time your stuff properly, then you're getting that extra, which means a lot. But you are creating this little grid with your little domed cities and then tunnels between your cities, and then inside the cities you can create different productions, different manufacturing buildings and science buildings, things like that.
That's cool.
To increase basically what your resources and stuff you're getting.
Right.
But it's a really cool game. If you get a chance, buy the expansion, because the expansion comes with double layer boards. So that everything fits in there nice and pretty.
Damn.
But I love Underwater Cities. this one makes me giggle.
Cool. I don't know that I've played it. I think I may have, but I can't remember for sure. That's why it definitely popped out of the list when I was going through and looking at stuff. But I just can't remember if I've played it or not. So I'd be down. Do you own it?
Yes, of course I do.
Yes. I'll try it.
Of course I do.
My number 2 was going to be one of our crossovers.
All the way to number 2.
He lied.
I did not lie.
He lied. This is a great game. Azul, Stained Glass of Sintra. This is my favorite version of Azul. His favorite is like the Queen's Garden, I think. But he said this is his second favorite version.
This is my second favorite version, yes.
And so I thought for sure it's going to be on here, but no, he lied.
Yeah, I lied.
Yep, he lied. Azul, Stained Glass of Sintra. I love the open drafting. I love being able to pick what tiles you're going to use. And I liked, I don't know what it is, I liked the way that you had to build all of your little stained glass windows in that row shape. I mean those columns. I liked that better than Azul. I don't know why exactly, because it's not terribly different.
Yeah, but the mechanic of moving your little worker down your track and limiting where you can build and then having to take a turn to go back, that's a huge mechanic. That added a ton to Azul.
I guess so.
Added a ton.
I guess so. I usually don't like restrictive mechanisms. I don't think restrictive mechanisms usually make me like a game better, but I guess in this case it did. I don't know. But I really enjoy that mechanism of knowing where, because one of the things, it seems restrictive, but it helps you sometimes, because you can take your turn and basically pass and just move your dude back. And that makes somebody else choose something that they maybe didn't want to take. So I do enjoy Azul Stained Glass of Sintra much better than the original. It's by far my favorite. I think Queen's Garden gets a little bit more complex. Has a little bit more complexity.
Queen's Garden is super complex. It's
that's why I didn't really. I don't dislike it, but this one's by far my favorite. So that's my number 2, Azul Stained Glass of Sintra.
I don't want to say it's super complex, but it's a lot. It's got a lot more
it's
to
more,
it.
More complex, right?
But this is a great game. It just did not make my top 10. It was in there and just kept getting pushed down and pushed down. So when I do these lists, I just start going down and I populate what's number 1. The first one I read that's on there, I populate it, and then the next one I read either goes in the front or behind or doesn't go on the list, and then they just keep pushing down and pushing down. So that one came off the list at some point. My number 2 is Brass Birmingham from Roxley Games,
which is by the number 1 game on Board Game Geek right now.
Yeah, which it deserves to be there.
He's a sheep.
No, I'm not a sheep. I don't know. I think I played this game probably before I fell in love with this game before I ever really knew probably much about
Board Game Geek.
Yeah. But this game is such a great thinking game. You get a handful of cards, you get a little bit of money, and you're trying to build out your economic empire. Not economic empire, but you're trying to build out your economy portion of Birmingham. You're having to connect cities together. You're having to try to ship.
By the way.
Yeah, that's right. You're trying to ship goods. You're trying to make coal mines, and you have to use your coal. Somebody else and I have to use your coal, or copper mines. You're making all of these things, but the gameplay is so intense. The cards that this version, Brass Birmingham and Brass Lancashire, both are gorgeous. Probably my favorite. If I look at it's probably my favorite artwork in any board game. I just love that aesthetic.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that old. I just love that aesthetic. But it's really cool. You're playing a card down on your turn, and you might play it to put a couple of railroad tracks. You might play it to add a manufacturing spot on a city. And then, at some point you're going to have to take a loan to get more money, which means that you're going down on the victory point track to, all these kind of things. Just it's such a great game. I don't even know how to. It is.
I only played the original version, and it felt like work.
You know, I just found the app probably like, maybe right after Christmas, probably actually right after the cruise.
Isn't this Martin Wallace?
I started playing, yeah.
It's
right
like,
after the cruise, I bought the app and I started playing the app. Holy crap!
It's like
holy crud!
It's like Martin Wallace. Somebody like dared him to make a heavy game, and he was like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, yep. There's beer in it too.
That's basically what Martin Wallace did, and he was like, "Yeah, I can make a heavy game. Here you go. Buckle up, Buttercup."
I absolutely adore this game.
Yeah, well, it's a good game, but it's super heavy.
Yep.
Feels like work to me. All right, good pick. My number one. And I've lost all hope that this is a crossover, but I think it should probably be a crossover. I know he likes this game. He likes this game.
Okay.
You like this game. You're the one that taught me this game.
I probably did. Okay.
Nemesis.
Oh.
My number one is
Your
Nemesis.
number one is Nemesis?
I loved that game. I loved that game. I love the aliens thing, and I know you love the aliens thing. So if this isn't your number one, I'm questioning...
It's my number one, just so you know. This is a direct crossover.
I knew it!
Nemesis is my number one.
Okay, number one. I loved this game. I just don't own it. And I knew I was going to like this game because people have said this is aliens in a box. Without the IP, of course, because they didn't pay the extra, how $1 million you would have needed to get the IP. But I really enjoy this game. Now, you've only taught me the cooperative version. I know that there's a competitive version as well. And
sure.
I would love to play it competitive. But I enjoyed everything about this game. And
we need to start playing this game and start playing because there's so many different factions. Like, you can play the normal aliens, but you can play like the carnomorphs, and they start out little and then they start eating things and eating each other's corpses and things like that, and they get bigger and stronger and meaner.
Give me the willies. I don't know why.
You got like the Void Seekers, who the Void Seekers are kind of like, really they're all in your mind. Like your guy's going crazy and seeing these things, but only one of them is real type of thing. And you got all these weird. But there's so many cool scenarios. Cool. I know. The only downside of Nemesis, and it is my number one for sure. I love this game. I love the theme. Is that you can there's early player elimination can happen.
Yep.
And at that point, you either decide, okay, let's start over, or you sit back and watch the game. I legitimately could sit back if I died early and watch this game and enjoy the story that unfolds. But I really love Nemesis. And it is the number one game of 2018.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I love it. It took me so long to play this game. I really wanted to play it. Really, really wanted to play it. Just never had the opportunity, and he got it, and he loves it. So he taught me and Jess how to play, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was Jess's kind of style of game, but sure. I super enjoyed it. Had a great time. So that is my number one, and JT's number one.
Yeah, indeed.
So that is the one game that you should go purchase, period. In the discussion.
There you go.
I'm just kidding. You can spend your money however you want.
I can't wait for the next one. Retaliation's coming out.
I know. You're going to get it, though.
I already got it. I spent $500-600 on it. I don't even know. I got it all coming, and anything I missed from the other two, I got them coming too.
That's the way to do it.
But Retaliation's coming out, and that's the Aliens, the movie. If Nemesis is like the first movie, this is like the second movie, where you get the Marines and you get to fight back. You get to spray and play a little bit more. So,
Express elevator to hell going down.
That's right. But
all right, well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us. This has been our top 5 games from 2018. We had exactly one crossover over all 10 spots. So there you have it. We'll see you guys and gals right here on the flip side. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you please, because we'd love to see you right here on the flip side.
And write down in there in the comments how wrong and right we are. Absolutely. So that I can respond.
And I'll respond as well. We do that both. We tag team it. So thank you for joining us. Take care.
See you later.